So we will start off this session with Carrie Biggett.
Thank you, Shane. I have had the privilege to actively be involved in GBTA since the early 1990s, and despite the very tough year we have had now behind us, I firmly believe in our association, and it's the very reason I can promise you I will apply my experience with my open-minded approach to bring forward a fresh, revitalized leadership style. Our industry is resilient, and it's made up of some of the best professionals in the business. This is a pivotal moment for all of us, and we will prevail both for the livelihood of our global economy as well as the health of GBTA. My work as your allied member at large will focus on three cornerstone initiatives. First, I will commit to adding value to your membership. You, the members, are critical to our success, and with that, your return on investment needs to have a demonstrated value, not only to you, but to your employers. Now, to do so, we need to work across the entire membership base and continue bringing forward diverse cross-functional networking opportunities, further supporting the efforts of Win It and aligning with those future leaders participating in the Ladders program. Second, I will commit to adding value to your GBTA chapter network. Now, by providing greater support to the chapters across the globe, they will further play a critical role in assisting the displaced and unemployed members with access to job opportunities, professional development, and ability to connect with us all. And third, I will commit to adding value to your GBTA professional development. The programs we have today are good, but with all the uncertainties still ahead of us, we need an enhanced level of curriculum that we can offer to GBTAs across the region. And with the acquisition of ACT, we can accelerate this growth of educational offerings so all members, regardless if you have 1 year in the industry or 40, can benefit. Now, as a long-standing GBTA member, past chapter president, past ACT member, committee member, Win It member, and a Ladders mentor, I do believe in being involved. And it's with that involvement that I understand the challenges of running a volunteer association. So through the many years of my involvement, I've had an ear to the ground, and I want to thank those who've already come out supporting me and giving me thoughts on what needs to change. But I believe that more involved you are, you truly do understand what needs to take place. And I know we have a lot of work in front of us, and I'm ready to roll up my sleeves. GBTA is our association. So together with you, the members, the hardworking employees of GBTA, and a new board of directors, we will succeed. So I want each of you to know, both allied and direct members, that your voice matters to me, your voice makes a difference, and your vote for me will make a difference. Thank you for your time, and I respectfully ask for your vote. Thank you, Shane.
Bruce McIndoe.
Hello. I'm excited to be a candidate for the one of the Allied at Large director roles at this fairly pivotal time for GBTA. Given my background as an intelligence officer, I thought since I'm trained to give decision makers the bluff, the bottom line up front, I thought I would here as well. So here it is. I would bring unique value to the GBTA board with my multidisciplinary diversity, industry diversity, and executive leadership experience with global operations. I've been deeply involved in the travel industry and GBTA for over 20 years. I've championed the travel risk management and duty of care with many of the direct members and virtually every sector of the allied suppliers. So I have broad background and experience there. And I've been providing active support for both the US and European risk committees. But more importantly, I'll bring a different perspective and add a different kind of diversity of thought to the board, bringing my experience with other boards, other industries, and even other associations to help chart the path forward to a truly global GBTA that serves its members, both direct and allied. So backing that up, being a serial entrepreneur since college and having founded 4 companies since then, I've been in an executive leadership role. So I have been dealing with global expansion and working with thousands of clients and having senior management expertise on corporate boards and decision making. So I think I bring that to the table. And I also have decades of experience now in both corporate and nonprofit boards, which are very different, both in higher education as well as associations like GBTA. So again, that governance experience, understanding the role of the board and how to support that within the organization, I think is something I can bring that will be strengthen the board. But I'm also an outsider. My experience spans, multiple industries outside of travel. And as such, my involvement in these associations, such as ASIS and RIMS and the risk and insurance and security markets, I can see both the good and the bad in what they're doing and hopefully bring that perspective and some good ideas to the board. And again, I talked about my travel industry experience and travel risk and duty of care and supporting media and conferences and all the things I've done over the last 20 years. But what really motivated me to be here today, and this is my second run at an allied member, director role, is I really saw the pain that GBTA went through last year. And I was really disappointed with so many people that jumped off the GBTA train just when it needed real attention. And so I joined many others in rolling up my sleeves and reimagining GBTA. And I supported the Project Unite activity and bringing ACTE assets in. And I also was a member of the GBTA bylaws review committee and helped shape what you see today. And so I would love to have the chance to see that vision, our combined vision for this new global GBTA come to life. So finally, as an allied member, I'd love to see GBTA become more relevant to its allied members, both in, beyond kind of the networking and conferences, but for professional development for them as well. So with your support, I'm confident that I can help GBTA meet the moment, navigate its way forward, and I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Carsten Osberg.
Thank you, Shane. Hello, everyone. My name is Carsten Osberg. I'm the Regional Managing Director at Europe, GBTA Visas. I've been working 14 years in the business travel industry across most parts of Europe and with colleagues and business partners in all parts of the world. And I'm in daily contact with our clients and team members in the Americas, North America, Asia-Pacific region, and across Europe, of course. My experience is mainly from the mobility industry, where I've been working to support travel and mobility managers in succeeding with their travel management programs and adhering to companies' duty of care policies. Compliance has played a larger part across recent years, and not following guidelines set out by foreign governments can have a severe impact to the individual business traveler, and not the least the company he or she works for. In the most recent survey amongst GBTA members, 55% responded that they think government policies will be the single greatest barrier to business travel. Post-pandemic, international travel is going to be far more complex, but also a lot more volatile, meaning requirements and regulations will keep changing. And it's not like it's always been an easy ride. We've seen natural disasters, terrorist attacks, wars, and other events impacting the industry negative, but never to the level of the extent that COVID-19 has impacted, and never so lengthy. GBTA currently doesn't have a member on the board with the same unique background as myself, and we as the leading business travel organization in the world should be able to discuss and influence the future of travel with governments and other institutions to make travel as smooth as possible. At this important junction in business travel, I also call for a committee on mobility, a committee that can advocate our members' needs and voice them to the relevant institutions and through necessary media. As the only European candidate for one of the seats as Allied board member, I am your European voice. And though I'm running as an Allied member at large, I also think I can voice many of our direct members due many years working with you in the Nordics, in Germany, in France, and many other European markets. In a true global organization and with the recent bylaws changed, I believe now is the moment where we put proof behind those words and ensure that Europe is also heard in an organization that is otherwise vastly driven by North American voices. A vote for me is a vote for Europe. Thank you.
Mira Rosenzweig, please, the floor is yours.
You got it, Shane. Hello, GBTA membership. My name is Mira, and I'm running for Allied at Large. In my tenure in the travel industry, I've been a hotelier, meeting planner, buyer, consultant, and a supplier. I feel this experience across my many roles allows me to connect with all GBTA members and bring your voice to the forefront of our association. With the exciting new changes in the bylaws, everyone can vote on all positions. That is why I'm excited to run this time around. You need a diverse board to represent everyone, not just allied representing allied or direct representing directs. With my vast industry experience, I feel I'm uniquely qualified to represent the full membership's best interests. We need to embrace and vote in a new board who are creative and innovative to move GBTA into a stronger and more sustainable place. That is what I can deliver to our industry and association. I'm known for my honesty, pushing boundaries, and creative thinking. When becoming a chair of the Accommodations Committee, our team felt it was imperative that we brought in an international point of view, and so we added global leaders to our committee, breaking the US versus European versus Canadian division put in place by GBTA. It was important to our agenda to be inclusive, not only in our own committee, but to influence others to follow suit. Being a chair during the changes in leadership at GBTA allowed me to guide our committee and gain experience in pushing back on a board proposed agenda. We were not going to be voluntold what to do. My strength is in my passion for all to be heard and ensure all voices globally will be acknowledged. I don't come from the old school travel industry mindset, nor am I in sales. My passion is to focus on the customer satisfaction, and that is what I will bring to you and the board every day. My time to speak with you today is short, and I want to thank you for your attention and for reading my platform statement. As a member of the board, I will focus on ensuring our industry is inclusive. We have Win It and our new DE&I committee, but there's so much more work to do, and the board needs to take action to embrace all members equally. Working on quality and relevant education is key. Providing innovative content that's beyond the standard webinar or traditional convention education sessions. Your board needs to set us up for future success by supporting education for all aspects of our ever-changing industry. We are an industry like no other. We rely on each other and the network and partnerships built from GBTA. I will continue to foster a strong network and take partnerships and collaborations to the next level. I'll push to foster the benefits of our association to all members, from the largest to smallest. Please vote for me, as I hope to represent you as a member of the board as allied at large. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maria Chevalier, and I'm running for GBTA's board seat as an allied. I have been in the travel industry for over 25 years, where I've had strategic roles within the buyer, supplier, and consulting communities. This is important because I feel like that experience will allow me to represent all the different member groups here at GBTA on this board seat. In addition, I have experience with large global complex companies. I have experience also with small entrepreneur businesses, and this will also allow me to represent that on this very important board seat. I also have a very strong track record of driving success into programs, both short-term and long-term. In particular, in this very disruptive time where this sort of experience and expertise is critical to the turnaround. So my platform is simple. It's based on some three fundamental things: turnaround, diversity, and small businesses. The first one is the turnaround. We have faced unprecedented times here in the travel industry, and therefore I think it's critical to have experience in helping with that important focus on the turnaround. We need to get people back on planes, and we also need to get our friends who were displaced employed again. As many of you know, I founded a group over 20 years ago to help people that had been displaced in our industry find great opportunities, great new jobs. I've done this and building this in a volunteer group, and we have helped thousands and thousands of people. And I have the expertise in both helping get the focus on getting people back to work, along with a track record of working in volunteer type organizations. The next area is diversity. Diversity is very near and dear to my heart because as you look at my family is extremely diverse, and I understand the challenges that is faced every day with that. So I want to be part of that, in particular with the last year that we faced here in the United States on the issue of diversity. I'm a member of the first committee formed by GBTA to address that inclusion. In addition to that, I've been working with BTN to focus on that as well, because again, we have to know better, do better, and be better. And I want to be part of driving that change into our industry and make sure as we recover, that's included in the focus. The last area is small business. I work for a small business now as an executive, and I have in the past as well. So I understand the challenges that small business owners face. And so I want to be part of representing that need on the board to make sure the board isn't representative of just large companies, but also for small business owners, because I think we are an important part of the membership group as well as the recovery path and the ongoing innovation of our industry. So I'll represent that as well. To close, I want to just thank you for your time and your consideration. I very much want you to know that you can trust me, as well as I will always be available and make sure that your voice is heard and represented.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to all the great candidates for the GBTA board. My name is Jeff Hillmeyer, and I'm currently the Executive Vice President of Account Management at TripBAM. And a little about me. I came to the industry about 20 plus years ago working at the front desk before making the transition into revenue management. Then I spent the next several years using what I had learned to provide guidance to corporate buyers as a consultant or through technology. So I believe my experience truly touches all sides of our industry. I think back to the days at the front desk, working the overnight and having to walk people when we were sold out. I couldn't understand why the heck we purposefully sold more rooms than we physically had, until I actually sought out the revenue management and got some transparency into the process. Then I finally understood. I carried that experience over with me to the rest of my career and witnessed firsthand how the lack of transparency created unnecessary friction and prevented productive conversations from happening. I never understood why it was like this. Now, take it to the current times where there's so many challenges ahead of us. We need to remember how powerful it is when we work together. To do this, we must be transparent as GBTA and as an industry. The power of being open, honest, and sticking to the facts have allowed me to have difficult conversations, but it's always led to more effective communication. I believe we must also embrace technology and innovation. There have been significant advances in technology, and the value that it brings is endless. However, if you look at our industry, we're slow to adapt and incorporate these advancements, and I believe it's held us back. Allied membership is a huge part of GBTA, and I don't believe their voice has been heard, and I want to bring technology to the forefront and drive our industry forward. Lastly, I've worked outside of the U.S., and I know the importance of incorporating a global perspective and looking beyond the American way of working. Outside the U.S., GBTA has made great strides, but is still operating in silos. For GBTA now and in the future, it's critical to break down those silos and live up to the promise to support our global members and improve communication. Like many GBTA members, I've been around for the industry's most challenging moments, but because of that, I know that in those moments come our greatest opportunities. We have a chance to make many changes, to better ourselves both professionally and personally, and to come out stronger than ever. As a member of the GBTA board, I'm ready to step up and help our members and our industry be better than we were before. GBTA has talked about change for a long time, for as long as I've been a part of the industry. I believe the association is finally heading down the right path, and if elected, I'm committed to continue to drive change and creating transparency, not just for GBTA, but for the entire industry. I'd appreciate the opportunity to work on your behalf. Thank you for listening and for voting.
My name is Gary Murakami, and I am running for your GBTA Board of Directors to represent you, our member, in the role of Allied Director at Large. Thank you for the privilege of your time to hear why I feel I am the best candidate for this Board of Director role. Having been a member of GBTA consistently for more than 20 years, I, like many of you, have seen this organization go through many changes and evolution, most positively in the effect and impact of our industry to the global economy. It is our voice and influence that has supported and amplified this importance and visibility, and it will continue to be our voice that will ensure the continued growth, momentum, and direction. What has not changed over these many years of my being a member, however, is my unwavering resolve, sentiment, and belief in the power of the mission and focus for GBTA, with our members' needs as its core value. I have been an engaged and dedicated member of GBTA, serving on several committees and task forces, including supporting the organization on the chapter leadership level with the Bay Area Business Travel Association for almost 20 straight years, even serving as its president for 2 terms. In addition, I will bring to this GBTA board extensive governance and leadership experience in serving on other industry association boards and committees and understand the responsibilities and role this position would involve. This commitment to our industry, the corporate travel and meetings industry, on the local, national, and global level, demonstrates my consistent dedication and passion to our industry and this organization. This is the principal reason why I ask for your vote as Allied Director at Large. I see the value and influence of what we all do each and every day. My focus will always be on you, our member, to represent your voice and needs, to ensure that our organization, GBTA, provides us the resources for our continued professional and personal growth and amplifies that influence inside and outside of our industry. It would be an honor to receive your support to represent you, our members, as a GBTA Board of Director Allied at Large. So I would like to leave you with this quote from Robert F. Kennedy that speaks to my inspiration for why I choose to volunteer and give back to GBTA and the industry. The purpose of life is to contribute in some ways to making things better. And I hope with your vote, I will continue to make things better for you, our members, and the industry. Thank you for your consideration and for your vote.
Good morning. My name is Will Pinnell, and I'm Vice President of Digital and Global Product at BCD Travel. I also serve as your current Allied Director at Large on GBTA's Board of Directors. It's hard to believe, but my first term as a board member of GBTA will be concluding in July. I'd like to thank everyone that has provided me with overwhelming support during this first term. I couldn't have imagined a more eventful or turbulent tenure as we watched the industry's worst ever drop in business travel demand that decimated nearly 1 in every 4 jobs of our association members. Since first being elected in Chicago in 2019, I've seen significant changes to the composition of this GBTA board and have seen a sizable reduction of GBTA staff, including the departure of an executive and interim executive director. I've also appointed and seen the appointment of former ACT board members and brought international representation to the board. I'm really proud of the work from both Dave Hilfman as well as the hiring of Suzanne Newfane. Of course, we also on the board hired MCI for a comprehensive and independent analysis of the association and put into place some best practices that they recommended. We've canceled and postponed a convention. We've engaged in the due diligence and acquisition of ACT's assets. We've lobbied Congress on the CARES Act for the inclusion of travel companies in categories and conducted over 50 virtual board meetings. It's been a busy term. But the thing that I'm most proud of achieving are the changes to the GBTA bylaws that I led with Rita Visser from Oracle. As the co-chair of the Bylaw Review Committee, we made substantial and fundamental changes to the way the association operates, as well as the composition of the board moving forward. My statements on those changes were included in the 2 press releases that GBTA released last month. As a result of these changes, the board has shifted to have representation from the regions as well as term limits imposed on board members. Because I've already served 2 years and it was during a pandemic, I've decided to run for a second and final term on the board. With the restart of travel, there's still much work to do, including 1, the engagement of regions outside of North America as travel restarts to continue to focus on the G in GBTA and ensuring better international representation. 2, continuing the theme of transparency and providing members with additional association visibility as changes continue. And 3, investing in GBTA Ladders as a mentor program that engages the next generation of leaders in the travel industry. I want to thank you for your ongoing support, and I'd appreciate your vote to continue the work I set out to do as an Allied Director member at large.
Ready, safe, travel. My name is Kevin Sullivan, and I'm the Senior Director of Sales at Southwest Airlines. Greetings from Arches National Park at the Sullivan Family Vacation. After a year and a half, it feels amazing to travel again. We are seeing full flights, increased hotel occupancy, and a demand for rental cars. We know leisure travel is currently leading the recovery and that business travel has a long way to go. GBTA must be at the forefront of the recovery. I'm humbled with the potential opportunity to join the GBTA leadership team, which will now be responsible for ushering in a strategic vision that accelerates the recovery of business travel all over the world. I want to be a part of the journey, as well as help GBTA strengthen its brand and grow its membership base. As a 20-year business travel industry veteran with Southwest Airlines, I look forward to bringing my passion, experience, and knowledge to the board position. I've been a member since 2009, and I've had the privilege of serving on the Allied Leadership Council, as well as currently serving on the Aviation Committee. However, I am committed to bringing fresh eyes and open ears to the board. If elected, my primary role is to serve the membership base, both buyers and suppliers. And I am energized to campaign on 3 initiatives that are not only important to me, but important to our industry. 1, the power of relationships, advocacy, and growing our membership base. Relationships are the root of our industry, and we must grow and maintain our base. An active membership base makes us much more effective when it comes to advocating for our industry. 2, we've got to have a healthy travel ecosystem and expedite business travel recovery. So we must remain in dialogue with each other. Travel partnerships and programs have changed overnight, and it will take time to rebuild this. This requires diversity in leadership and the membership base, as well as learning from the past and developing innovative content. And lastly, we must focus on being better global citizens. That means sustainability and DE&I must be in the forefront, and we must advocate for a more diverse global GBTA membership to ensure we're creating an organization that truly represents our global members. As we begin to emerge from the pandemic, there's no greater time to come together to build a strong organization. It would be my great honor to serve on the board. Thank you for the consideration.
Hi, I'm Alison Taylor, and I'm Chief Customer Officer at American Airlines in Dallas, Texas. But you can probably hear already that I'm not Texan, I'm Aussie, but I'm so delighted to be here in Dallas. I've lived and worked in the travel industry for over 30 years in 9 countries, and so really feel like I'm a global citizen, but loving our time here in Dallas. You know, I'm so honoured to have been nominated for a position on the GBTA Board of Directors. I'm currently serving as the Vice President, GBTA Allied Leadership Council with Dorothy Dowling, and Executive Board Member, and I'm also serve on the WINIT Strategic Advisory Board. I've previously held memberships on ACT and also MPI boards as well. And I really cherished that time with both of those great boards. Over the course of my memberships, I've offered support through strategic advice and assistance with resources, being present and accountable, sponsorships and research in order to fully support the boards I've been so fortunate enough to serve on. I have a proactive approach to board membership and really strive to contribute beyond just aviation or hotels or my current position, as it's so important to maintain an industry-wide global viewpoint. If I'm elected, I want to ensure that there are policies in place that promote openness and work to transition the board of directors over the coming years. I believe that GBTA should not only serve buyers, but also business travellers. GBTA should be a trusted voice with regulators all over the world that advocates for the needs of the business traveller and the companies that send their employees to conduct business globally. I'm so proud of the work GBTA have done over the last few months, and I really want to enable GBTA to play a pivotal role in career development for those involved in business travel and the suppliers that support that. There is a great opportunity to promote shared networking and be at the very forefront of establishing best practices across corporate. As I mentioned, I lived and worked in 9 countries when I was with Starwood Hotels and Resorts, and I've had to be agile, adaptable, and able to lead recoveries in multiple points of sale. I hope that the growth that this amount of international experience has provided will benefit GBTA in the coming years. Thank you again for your time and for your consideration. Thanks.